going, everybody? I'm Lewis, and we've got the Elder Beta and Barbarian Assault update from the Old School RuneScape team. So let's get straight into this week's update with the Elder Weapon Beta. Now, they discussed this in their most recent developer blog for Raid Rewards 3. They're introducing the Elder Weapons, which is the Elder Maul and the Elder Wand. They're both tier 75 weapons, and seeing as they're such high tier weapons being introduced to the game, they want to test them out first. So, hence, we've got this beta happening. To participate in this beta, go to World 321, which will be a tournament-style world. On this world, there'll be a supply chest, which you can go to choose any weapons and armour that you like. Here, you'll be able to grab yourself the Elder Maul and the Elder Wand. Give them a good try against each other in PvP, and, specifically with the Elder Maul, you'll be able to try it out in a PvM situation. You'll be able to choose from Cerberus, the Chaos Elemental, Water Fiends, and the Calphite Queen, which I believe are mostly weak against Crush. I know for a fact Water Fiends are, because I used to kill them years ago when I was doing Slayer, and I specifically remember them being weak to Crush. Anyway, the whole point of this beta is for them to gather feedback on the weapons, see how powerful they are, see how useful they are, and actually balance them well within the game. If you go on this beta world and try out the weapons, let the Old School RuneScape team know what you think. Additionally, if you are interested in any of the other rewards that raids will have to offer, I will provide a link to my video on the developer blog at the end of this video. Let's move on to the Barbarian Assault quality of life changes. Recently, a number of questions on the recent polls have been addressing some issues at Barbarian Assault, and hopefully all these changes will make going to Barbarian Assault a little bit smoother. So, starting off with the Queen kill count cap. Before this update, the Queen kill count cap was 15. If you were a player that wanted a serious number of Queen kills, for example, if you wanted to try and get the pet, and I believe that's a 1 in 1,000 chance on the high gambles, then having a limit of 15 is a bit of a pain. So what they've done now is they've raised it to 40 kills, allowing you to bank a lot more kills, and hopefully if you're doing something like high gambles, you'll have a much easier time of doing it. Next, the quick start. There's now a quick start option on the ladders in the waiting rooms in Barbarian Assault. This will get you straight into the action instead of having to wait 60 seconds to start. I don't really know why they had that 60-second wait before. It always felt like a bit of a pain. As well as these two changes, they've made a couple of smaller changes which should improve Barbarian Assault. The big delay when using item dispensers has been removed. You can now close the rewards window by using the escape key. The reward shop should no longer have a black background and should feel more smooth to use. The egg conversion device now converts your eggs into another randomly, rather than a specific colour. An issue where penance healers would stop taking poison damage has been fixed. They fixed an issue where the attack style selection was not working correctly. Points will no longer be lost when leaving the rewards window open after a game, and poisoning penance creatures with green eggs will no longer reduce poison severity. With all of this, should mean that Barbarian Assault is just a little bit nicer to go to, and hopefully that little bit more enjoyable. I've always enjoyed Barbarian Assault, however it's a bit of a disappointment to know that many players there just to get their fighter torso. Moving on to the Ring of Wealth update. If you're wearing the Ring of Wealth, you're more likely to get an item from the rare drop table. As well as that, the Ring of Wealth will now automatically pick up any coin drops that you get from monsters. So small stacks that you get from, say, potentially Slayer will now just go straight into your inventory and won't be such a pain to pick up. For players such as myself, I imagine that will be rather useful. I did, at least at one point, have a tendency to pick up all those tiny little stacks of coins. However, I'm not a massive fan of having this automatically pick up the coins, but seeing as it's in-game now, I can't really complain too much. Moving on to the Last Man Standing changes. It's been 2 weeks since they officially released Last Man Standing into the live game, and they've got a few small changes which will hopefully improve the game further. So let's have a look at Bloodier Keys. When the game comes down to the last 5 players, many people try to avoid combat in the hopes of surviving. Because if there's 5 players left, and you're in a fight with another player, there's 3 players that aren't fighting, and they're, not risking anything at that moment in time. To solve this, they're introducing the Bloodier Key. If you get a kill within the last 5 players, you'll get a Bloodier Key. Similar to a Bloody Key which replenishes run energy and hit points, the Bloodier Key will replenish prayer and special attack. As well as this, It also gives you some more food and gives you a nicer chance of getting a top tier special attack weapon for those final few fights. Hopefully this item will encourage people, especially in the top 5 players, to actually fight out between themselves even more, as opposed to just waiting it out until the last person standing from the fog, making the game a lot more thrilling and more PvP orientated. Alongside this, they've done a few smaller last man standing changes, including it's no longer possible to go up ladders when in combat. The buy option in shrines is now a left click option. The buy prices of some items has been reduced in the shrines. The sell prices of some items has been increased in the shrines to combat griefing. Adamant arrows have been replaced by rune arrows. A last man standing minigame teleport has been added. Logging out mid-game will now reduce a player's rank. The retribution prayer can no longer be used in last man standing. And there are now no safe spots on the watchtowers. Hopefully all these changes will make last man standing a lot more PvP orientated and a lot less prone to being griefed. From watching the developer Q&As, many people have had questions about certain ways people have been griefing. And I suppose you could just argue that some of the things are mechanics in RuneScape's PvP, such as going up and down ladders. However, it looks like the Old School RuneScape team don't want that in this minigame. Finally, let's go on to the other news and the bug fixes. Temple tracking NPCs now have right-click escort options, meaning it'll be a lot faster to get into a game of temple tracking. It's now clear what difficulty each temple tracking NPC is. The tables in Let Your Bank will now act like bank booths, so you don't have to right-click on the NPC to bank, you can just click on the tables. The seed box can now deposit seeds into the bank without needing to remove them first. The Hosidius servering multiplier will now go down even if no one is present. The final door in a pyramid plunder room will now always allow you to progress, meaning that pyramid plunder should be a little bit easier and less frustrating. You can no longer receive random events in the blast furnace, and the special summer promotion has now ended. So I believe that was being able to buy 3 bonds for the price of 2, or was it 5 for the price of 6? No, it wouldn't be 5 for the price of 6. It would have been 6 for the price of 5. It was a good offer for bonds, but now it's ended, and that doesn't really matter what it was now. Presumably they'll be doing another summer promotion next year, and if you are someone that relies on bonds to get your membership, then that'll be a good time to save up. Hey, you never know, they might even do, say, a winter promotion around Christmas time. They've removed an option from some ale barrels and Great Krend that didn't do anything. The Golden Fleece can now be used on spinning wheels in Letia and Kurend. The woodcutting equipment of the Black Axe has been corrected to 11. Completing an easy temple trek will no longer complete the hard Mauritania diary task. They've improved some wording in the Mauritania achievement diary. They've corrected some spelling on an elite riddle clue scroll. They've improved the examine of Grip's keyring to include that it's used in Hero's Quest. And they've improved some wording on a master clue scroll, hopefully meaning that you won't get too confused when you get these clue scrolls. So this looks like a nice week's update. Quite a few small quality of life updates from the most recent polls. I particularly like the changes to Barbarian, so I've always loved that minigame, and I think if we can get more people going there, it's going to be a lot more fun. And I'm also interested to see how these Elder weapons are going to fare in this beta. Hopefully they'll be well balanced. However, as ever, I am very skeptical about them introducing new powerful weapons into the game. If you want to discuss this update, please go on the forums or do so in my comments below. I'll be quite interested to see what your opinions are about these Elder weapons and how they actually play in game. So let me know if you've gone on the beta and tried them out. Click here if you want to find out more about raid rewards. Like I said earlier on in the video, there are plenty more than just these Elder weapons. In fact, there's this entire developer blog, Raid Rewards 3. And if you want to watch my video on the latest Old School RuneScape poll, please click here for the Wintertide rewards. If you've enjoyed this video, please like and share, and if you want to keep up to date with the Old School RuneScape updates, dev blogs and polls, please subscribe. I've been Lewis, thanks for watching, goodbye.